guitar night. Let's give this a whirl. I'm gonna go. I'm in 4 minutes early, so if you're watching the video, the replay, you can easily fast forward 5-6 minutes. I'm going to be chit-chatting about the things that are going on. One, if you are new here, please swing by denverguitarorchestra.com, and that is where you will find a way to join our email list. You will find our weekly schedule. You will find, I don't know, getting up toward a couple hundred pieces of sheet music. What did I just do? There it is. You will find, what else will you find? That's what you'll find. Our schedule, our sheet music, and a complete program to become a fingerstyle guitarist. We're also adding in a classical track, which is mostly the same way of playing, a little bit, a few things that are different about it, and it's actually been a huge joy to be adding in those pieces of sheet music. A little obviously pretty difficult compared to other ways of playing, but probably worth it. Not always. Sometimes they're stupid songs too. Tonight we're playing night number 1 of the guitar program. So we'll be talking about how to hold the guitar, how to tune the guitar, how to read tablature, and we'll be playing Brother John. We'll be working on that for the next couple weeks. Second thing today, and book 2, the everybody's 2 number 1 favorite songs ever, Hokey Pokey and Hush Little Baby. Both of those are kind of goofy songs, but the skill set that you learn from them will help you out in the better songs. The better songs we'll be playing tonight are out of book 3, Beautiful Dreamer, Brahms Lullabye, and Danny Boy. All those are world-class pieces of music. Oddly, even Stephen Foster, who is definitely on the outs in terms of popularity for composers. He's way ahead of the game on this one. This is a really cool piece of music. Brahms, of course, is the Lullaby you all know, and then Danny Boy. Everybody either loves or hates that song. Our 2 classical pieces tonight will be a Carulli song, Opus 241 number 1. It's a waltz. It's beautiful. Really fun to play. We may keep that around a week or 2. And then Torito is a modern song, 1989, Jaime Mirtenbaum Zenamon, one of the great names of all time. So we'll be working on that tonight. Let's see. If you're new, when you log in, if you are logged into Google, or you are logged into YouTube, you can take advantage of the chat bar like Vic is doing right now, and when you log into chat, the 2 things that I like you to do are, 1, tell me where you're from, and 2, tell me what the weather's like there today. I am from Denver. We had a positively lovely day, with a weird exception. It was a little on the hot side maybe, but I was inside during the heat of the day. The exception to that is that California is on fire right now, and it might as well just be depositing all the smoke right here in the Front Range of Colorado. We've had weeks and weeks and weeks of nonstop horrible smoke and pollution, and it's just been they said today on the news it'll be like smoking two cigarettes today if you just breathe. It is terrible outside, and so I am trying not to be disheartened by our world, but it is challenging when it's been this bad. Orchestra.com. I'm posting over on Twitter our activity tonight, because we just do it. We don't know. We don't think it matters, but we're trying to be cool and hip. I guess Twitter's cool and hip. Twitter, I think, is not cool and hip. I don't know anybody who actually uses it, but I use it. I like it. Let's see. And so now we're up on Twitter. Vic has made it in. She's in from Eugene, Oregon, and she's had her share of smoke this summer as well. So there's that. We'll probably have very small turnout and in the early part of it, and then it kind of builds as we go along. We'll be moving very quickly, so hold on to your hats. So let's talk about getting started in guitar, just generally speaking. The first thing you should know is that If you quit, you'll come back to it eventually, right? So so just don't quit, and then you don't have to come back to it. Guitar is one of those things where people do it real serious for about 6 weeks, and then they quit, and then 10 years later they come back and try it again for 6 weeks. The key with guitar is it isn't going to just happen. It's not going to just happen. You are going to have to put the work in, and the key with the work is it's very glorious work. There's not very many more things that are more satisfying. There are a handful of things. Eating a pizza would be one, but if you're holding a guitar and running your hand over the strings, it just makes you feel like you're doing the right thing in life. I'm going to be playing with a nylon string classical guitar, but the way we play around here does not matter. Any guitar will be perfectly fine. You should know you probably have a guitar that's too big for you. I have a guitar that's too big for me, and so let me pull up this so I can make sure I'm centered correctly. This is a nylon string guitar. It's a classical guitar, but it doesn't matter. The system we use is designed to work on metal string and plastic string guitars. So just whatever makes you happy, whatever guitar you own. Always use your best guitar, and then be on the lookout for your next best guitar, because the guitar you have in your hand will be the cheapest guitar you ever have in your hand, and you're always going to be looking for one that's more expensive. You can just go ahead and start and buy the $30,000 guitar right off the bat, and then you don't have to look at guitars anymore. Most people don't. Most people start with the $200 guitar and work their way up in increments. But it does not matter what your guitar and what type of guitar you have for this program, certainly not in the beginning. The second thing, how do you hold the guitar? I'm holding the guitar correctly. When you first get started, everybody wants to hold the guitar like this because they see cowboys holding it this way. And what you'll see is then your thumb has to stick way up in order to do your chords. And you can watch all the cowboys and they all have their thumb up here. And it just makes their life harder. And you can tell they're really good players because they've been fighting the fight for their entire lives. And you don't need to fight the fight. Just hold the guitar correctly, which is between your legs. If you stand up at a microphone to give a rock and roll concert, you're going to have a strap around your guitar. It's going to hang down in this position anyway. So if you're sitting down, you might as well just put it in this position. Super weird, super awkward when you first do it. And then after about 2 days, 3 days of it, you're like, oh, well, that's just how you hold your guitar. So hold your guitar, steep angle, 50 degrees, 60 degrees. I've got this almost 70 degrees. But somewhere between here and here is the correct way to hold it. Holding your guitar will be a lifelong activity of discussion. I've been taking I am in college for guitar, and I had my private lesson today, and we talked about how to hold the guitar. So it's one of those things that's constantly a thing that we have to stay focused in on. How you hold the guitar? Like this. Next, how you tune the guitar. I'm looking at my list of things I'm supposed to tell you. How to hold it, how to tune it. By the way, did I mention I don't need to see your thumb ever? If you play an electric guitar, there are times when you're going to wrap your thumb around over the top here. But on a classical guitar, you'll never, or on any type of acoustic guitar, there is no reason to ever have your thumb over the top. You see guys do it all the time. Their reasoning for doing it is wrong. So, but they do it. Just know you don't need to. Next, how to tune your guitar. Eddie 8 Dynamite. Goodbye, Eddie. If you were here in town and I was giving a face-to-face workshop, I make you memorize that phrase. We talk about it every single week. Eddie 8 Dynamite. Goodbye, Eddie. Okay. And I have lost my tuner. So this is the tuner you want to own. It's called a Snark. What is it called? Super Tight HZ. I think it's called an ST or SN8 on Amazon. They're about $14-15. You don't want to own any other tuner. This is the one you want. It's high definition, modern computer in it. Actually does the job. Guitar has on these low strings when you're plucking them. And most tuners have a hard time reading it. These snarks can tell exactly what it's doing. So it comes up and there's E. A little high on the A, so lower it down and bring it back up. Next one's a D. That's pretty close. Choose a little low. We'll tighten that up just a smidge. And B, we'll tighten that up just a smidge. And then E. plan on tuning your guitar up 100% of the times you pick it up. They do go out of tune. The way heat, humidity, and all that stuff will affect their tuning. If a dog barks down the street, this way it affects the tuning on this one. So just know that. You should also download a tuner onto your phone just so that you have one. They're not very good, but they're better than nothing. Just have one on there ready to go in case your real tuner dies. I like these also because they just take a 2035 or 2032 battery, and every grocery store in the world has them now. So it's real easy when the battery starts to get a little fuzzy to replace them, and the batteries last a long time. So just buy a good tuner. That's the one thing I suggest you buy. It will also help if you have a music stand. Sitting at the kitchen table with your sheet music spread in front of you isn't necessarily that great. Now, I want you to pull up Brother John. That's our sheet music we're going to work on for first tonight. Hey, Linda, welcome in. Sunny and 77, a little cloudy up in Vancouver. Sounds like a perfect day in Vancouver. All right, we're going to play Brother John. We're going to read the tablature part of this. So all this stuff on this piece of paper, you don't need to know it right off the bat. You take this thumb and you're going to play just the first string. Okay, the first string is the one on the bottom. Okay, when we pluck it, it's called open, and on your sheet music, if you look at the guitar melody line, the first note is a 0, and so that means play it open. The next one is a 2. You're going to take this middle finger, you're going to put it on the 2nd fret, so count your frets down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's probably a dot on 5. 6, 7, there's probably a dot on 7. 8, 9, there's probably a dot on 9 on your guitar, and then 10, 11, 12. Sometimes they put a fancy thing on it, 12. Sometimes they don't put anything on it, 12. This guitar doesn't have anything anywhere. My dots are on the side of my fretboard here, but a lot of times, especially on metal string guitars, they'll put a fancy little doodad there on 12, because it looks pretty. All right, so if we hit a 0, then we're going to take this middle finger, press down kind of hard in the second fret. The fret, don't be on top of the metal wires, just be in between them. So in between here is 1, in between here is 2, in between here is 3, and so on. So take your middle finger, press kind of hard, and hit 2. Okay. Then I want you to take your pinky, press kind of hard in 4, and then hit a 0. Let's do that a few times with me. Ready, play. 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0. Slide. Now, that's the first two measures you can see there. Frere Jacques. It's 0240, 0240. Important stuff. Okay, once you figure that out, then the rest of the song you can figure out already. So if you go, the next two measures are 4, 5, 7. So slide up. Notice above the dots on the chord and lyrics line, up above the standard notation, I wrote IMP, and that means index, M for middle, okay, not really, and then P is for pinky, okay, index, middle, pinky, okay, 4, 5, 7. Let's do it a few times. 4, 5, 7. Index, middle, pinky. Next section is supposed to be twice as fast as we're going to play it. So your job here is to put your ring finger. See your notes up there say RPRMIO. Okay, so R means ring. Put that on your 7th fret. Pluck that. Pinky goes up on 9, so you got to stretch a little bit. Get the pinky up there. I'm going to get better posture myself. And then come back to the ring. Middle on 5. Index on 4. And open. Let's do that a few times. 7. Then to 9 with your pinky. Back to 7 with your ring. Middle with your on 5. Index on 4. And open. Again, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, open, 7, whoops, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, open, one more time, ring, pinky, ring, middle, index, then so now you've played 2/3 of the song, 3/4 of the song, and go down to major 7. Notice you got a 0 on that first string. Very exciting. You got a 0 on the second string. That's the string right next to it. And the string on 0 on the first string. And then you do it again. Okay, so that's the whole song. Really, really fast presentation. We will go over all of this stuff again next week. To this week at home, what you're working on is playing this from these numbers, and don't worry about the timing so much. I will tell you what the actual timing is, so you can try it, but it's not urgent that you do it right off the bat. We're going to play from the top, just as I said, 0240, 0240, then 457, 457, then 797, 540. Do that again, and then first string, second string, first string, first string, second string, first string. Here we go. From the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. First string, second string, first string, first string, second string, first string. That's it. That's your job this week, is to get where you can play that, and you don't need to worry about anything else on the page. That playing a straight line melody off of our paper work will set you apart from 90% of the other guitars. Most guitars just learn their chords and they sing, and it's a great fun. We're going to learn how to do that too. But what most guitars can't do is play just a plain old simple melody on their while reading tablature. That turns out that's a surprisingly rare ability, and we need to change that. We need you to get good at that, so that we can play much more complicated stuff if we have the ability to read tablature. And for about 300 years, that's how lute players shared music. They didn't use standard notation; they used tablature, and then these days, of course, tablature's back. A lot of players are interested in what we're doing, and it really works. It gives you the ability to play higher, more complicated songs. It also gives you the ability to play lots of songs and not necessarily have that great of an ear or have everything memorized, which, the really great guitarists have stuff memorized and they have an amazing ear, and some of them read music and some of them don't, but the tablature sort of levels the playing field. You can play the complicated stuff, you can play the easy stuff, and you don't really have to memorize anything. All right, so this week, that's your job. Now, your real goal will be to play 797-540 twice as fast as we played it. Let me show you what that's going to sound like. What your goal is. We won't play it double time like that next week necessarily. We'll probably try it, but make sure that what you're really associating is on the guitar melody line 0240. That's open, and then a 2, and then a 4, and so on. Once you get that in your head, also notice it's upside down. On the paper, the string on the top of the paper is your guitar string on the bottom, and so sometimes I get people that do this, which sounds fine until you get to the end, and then you've got to go 0, and it doesn't sound right. And so just make sure you're on the first string. The strings are numbered upside down on a guitar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to be playing on string 1 all this week. Okay, so your job, just get where you can get the tune for Air Jacques out this week, and no other issues. Next week we'll talk about the E chord. We will talk about the repeat, and down at the bottom at measure 8 there's a whole contraption there. You want to read up on that there. It's right on the paper, but we'll talk about how to read repeats, and you'll end up being a famous musician if you stick around here. So week 1, day 1, lesson 1, book 1, all that stuff. This is the most important thing we do. hands down. Single most important piece of paper that we have, period. We're going to be playing all this other fancy stuff tonight, but it all comes from this one. It all starts here, and if you can get a good handle on that right off the bat, you're going to be just fine playing all sorts of crazy, beautiful music down the road. So, Brother John, I can't sell it hard enough. Okay? All right, there's book 1, lesson 1. Now, those of you who are here, most of you, are really interested in playing Hokey Pokey, and so we're going to give you a wonderful moment in time. Okay? All right, so remember with Hokey Pokey, we don't care about Hokey Pokey, but we do care about getting from C chord to G chord and back, or C to G7 in this case, and back. So let's talk about that very briefly. We've already talked about it, but just let's take a moment to warm up. C chord. Okay, and then G7, drop your index finger and lift your middle and ring up. And then get back. Go. I'm gonna sing. I'm taking singing lessons over at school. They're not working yet, but maybe I'll get better. 1, 2, 3. You put. Sorry, I goofed that up the timing. 1, 2, 3. You put your right hand in. You put your right hand out. You put your right hand in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. 2, 3, you put your left hand in, you put your left hand out, you put your left hand in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Now that's what we usually do, right? Just take your claw, pick your strings, you figure out which ones sound the best, and just do 1, 2, 3, 4. Most guitar players are going to do it a little more aggressively. You put your right hand in, you put your right hand out, you put your right hand in, and you shake it all about, right? And that's another way to do it. And if you're wanting to be exciting, strum those chords rather than pluck them. The nice part about plucking is it tells you where your beats are. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a lot of newer players really struggle with rhythm. And so my my little contraption here is fighting me as usual. The nice part about plucking 4 times in each measure is that you get very comfortable with the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it's an easier matter to just sing over the top of those beats. And if you can keep your right hand steady, you're in great shape. All right, so there's C and G7. Those are coming up in your life, guys. Let's do one other thing with those chords. Let's do arpeggio pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so when you're on the C's, use the 4 middle strings. Strings 5, 4, 3, 2. 5, 4, 3, 2. You're actually playing the notes of 3, 2, 0, 1, 3, 2, 0, 1, 3, 2, 0, 1. Now on the paper I wrote it the opposite. 1, 0, 2, 3, 1, 0, 2, 3, 1, 0, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 0, 2, 3, 1, 0, which is kind of fun. And then down at measure 4, when you go to your G7, if you're playing arpeggios, you don't even need to worry about your index finger. Just get your ring and middle finger up onto the top 2 strings, and then you can either do your thumb down, 6, 5, 4, 3, 6, 5, 4, 3, or do what the paper says and continue to use the middle strings, and then do it ring, middle, index, thumb, ring, middle, index, thumb, ring, middle, index, thumb. I kind of like doing it backwards on this song because it gets a little bit more raggedy feel to it, and so I think I'll try doing that myself. Put your C chord on. We'll go a little bit slower, but remember you're plucking pretty quickly. 1, 2, 3. You put your right hand in. You put your right hand out. You put your right hand in, and you shake it all about. Do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself that's doing it raggedy. That's doing what's written on the paper. When I redo book 2 someday, I'll take these off because I think I made them too hard. And then do it the other way: thumb, index, middle, ring. You put, let's see, what's the last one? You put your whole self. Let's go faster. 1, 2, 3. You put your whole self in. You put your whole self out. You put your whole self in, and you shake it all about. Do the hokey pokey, and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Okay. So that's your chords, right? C, G7, and then arpeggio plucking, and you guys know that's coming up a lot as we work through all of these other more advanced songs. That arpeggio pattern, where you've got it in your claw position and you're just doing things in a specific order, going to come up. Let's go ahead and play the melody 0-2-0 to get us started on the 3rd string. 1, 2, 3. Messing up that one section. Well, it's kind of interesting if you look at it. Going into measure 5, you start with the 0 on the 3rd string, which is not something you've been doing a ton of, right? You're actually the opposite of that at the early part of 4. 0, 0, and then you're going to hit this 3rd, and then you have 2 zeros. That's what's messing me up. So those 2 zeros in the middle. And once you find out what your problem is, then you're good. Like, okay, I keep messing up this one measure. Go back, study that measure, get it right. Don't let your fingers just go away with thinking they can get away with doing things wrong. Go back through, fix your errors. If you're making a mistake, it's one thing. If you're consistently making an error in a spot, you want to go back and really study what's causing that error. So if I'm playing a song and I make a mistake or two here along the way, I don't really care. But if I keep making the same mistake in the same spot, I care a lot. And I go in and I'll sit down and say, all right, what's going on here that I keep blowing this? Fix that one measure, and usually then you don't make it again. But we make mistakes a lot. There's a difference between a mistake and an error, right? A mistake is just something you just hit the wrong string, you held the wrong fret, something. But an error is something that is happening consistently, and then that's what you want to do is go in and take time to really study what's happening there. All right, final thing we're going to do is we're going to play the tough acts. You guys that have been around a while, you know how this goes. We'll take it nice and slow. This is not an easy song. 1, 2, 3. Switch to your claw. remember, you can do that last chord. You got 3 choices: do a thumb down, do pluck 4, or do a little glissando. Right? It's not really even a glissando. It's just a fast arpeggio. Thumb, index, middle, ring. Okay, so those are 3 different possible ways of handling that final chord. Beautiful. That's enough of Hokey Pokey, don't you think? You're supposed to do it 7 times until all of your body parts are in. So yeah, good luck with that. All right, let's go on to a tiny bit better song. It's a weird, the words are weird, but the melody is pretty sweet. Our 2 chords on Hush Little Baby, and this will be your song for the week. So one of the things that I think I really need you to do as often as possible is really dive into one particular song, really get it good by the end of the week type thing. And this is what book 2 is great about, is you can just pick a song. You don't have to like Hush Little Baby. You don't even have to know what Hush Little Baby is. You're wanting to just get this 2 sheets of paper really solid, okay? And this is a hard arrangement because we're in E. So you're grab your E chord. It looks exactly like your A minor chord, but it's on strings 5, 4, and 3. Right? Isn't that a nice chord? Right? And with this one, I like to get it as tight as I can up to the frets, and then maybe play it a little bit further down on your strings. And that sounds like something's about to happen, right? Okay. And then you're going to go to B7. To get to B7, index finger up 1 string, middle finger down 1 string, and then add your pinky on the bottom. Okay. And then to get back, index finger drops 1, middle finger comes up 1, pinky comes up. Okay. All right, I'm about to sing again. Close your ears. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Papa's gonna buy you a mockingbird. And if that mockingbird don't sing, then Papa's gonna buy you a diamond ring. And blah, and then repeat. Okay, so I'd say E and B7 are for sure. It's one of the weird keys in the world that guitarists use a lot. Not that many instruments are interested in the key of E, but guitarists are, and mainly because you've got E, real easy to get along with. E, A minor is right next to it, right, and then the beautiful B7. Back to E. Pretty sweet key. It also helps you avoid all the other mean chords. So E, F, G, A, or A minor, and B, or B7. If you do an A chord, right? And so you see a lot of songs, from the day when you're like, oh, I want to go play that song from when I was a teenager, and you find out, oh, it was played on guitar and it's in E, and then you got B and A along with it. You're like, okay, sweet, I know how to do this. So work on those chords, E and B7. They're coming up in your life. B7 is super hard in the beginning, and then I think it gets easier. Let's play the melody. Okay, and then when I look through the melody, I see lots of 4s and 5s, and that makes me nervous because 5's way down here, right? And so if I'm going to be using that 5, I'm going to look at, all right, I don't like stretching my pinky way out there. Maybe I'll put my ring on 4, middle finger on 3, and index finger on 2. And guess what? I've covered all of the notes that I need to cover. And so this is called playing in second position. So the index finger, rather than being in first position, which is where we think of it as being a normal place for it to be, we're going to put it in second position. Now, the only problem with that is you really got to remember which fret your fingers are assigned to. So when you see a 3, there aren't any 3s in here. There's no 3s. If you see a 4, you're used to putting your pinky on the 4s. right? And when you see a 2, you're used to putting your middle finger down, and so you just got to remember, all right, I'm repositioned, I'm playing in second position now. Positional playing is a big deal in guitar, and so just get where you can do it a little bit, and you're going to make a ton of mistakes in the beginning. I'll probably make some mistakes right now, and you'll see how much easier it is to play in second position than be reaching your pinky way up there to get those 5s. From the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 4, 4, 4, 5, 4, 2, 2. Oh, oh, 2, 2, 2, 2, 4, 2. Oh, 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 4, 4, 5, 4, 2, 2, 2. Time. Oh, 4, 4, 5, 4, 2, 2. Oh, oh, 2, 2, 2, 2, 4, 2. Oh, 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 4, 4, 5, 4, 2, 2, 2. Oh, oh, 2, 2, 2, 2, 4, 2. Nice little melody, nothing wrong with the melody. Now, things get really, really tough when you go into the tough acts on this one. So spend a little bit of time this week on it and make sure this is a pinky finger workout. You're going to be having that pinky all over the place. You don't have the same luxury as when you're playing positionally, when you're playing finger style, because you have to hold the chord and manage somehow to get out here to reach this pinky. So start with your E chord and then strum 5 strings. Pinky's got to go way out here. And then you reach your pinky up to 5, and then you're going to pull it back to 4, park it, and get your D7 on B7 on up here. And then pull your pinky all the way back to the 2. Okay? And so that part alone, those 2 measures alone are going to probably take you out of playing guitar, right? They're really, really hard. And so just know, obviously, if you can't reach it, if your guitar's too big for your hand or whatever, you're going to play the E chord. And then just abandon the chord, go up and play the 4s and 5s. And then come back, grab your B chord, see if you can get to the 4. More B7s at measure 3. And you go back to your E chord. Pinky is now on 2. Any songs that we have that lots of the songs we have are going to be pinky finger workouts. This one's one of the early ones in the process of just really trying to talk your pinky finger to as much as possible. It's not always possible, but try. Your pinky, you'd like to have this nice round shape to it. I don't know if I can show you on this, but basically having this nice round shape. You will see when I play, often that thing is stretched out like this. Partly that's because this guitar is a little bit too big for me, and partly it's just because I'm not being as careful as I need to be. It's not great to lock your pinky and do that. So to make your adjustments, adjust your thumb possibly, tighten up your overall grip on things, so that your hands are coming basically at a little bit more than a tennis ball, maybe like holding on to, like you're falling off a cliff or something, a little bit tighter on your curve here. Right, and just try to keep it that way. Now that's easy to talk about. It's a whole nother thing to do, but just be mindful. You'll see me all the time with my pinky stretched out and kind of bent, and that's not ideal. So any tips for the long stretch on the B7 chord? Yeah, so the first tip is get good at doing B7, right? So you've got index, middle, ring, and then pinky here, right? So that's the first tip. Okay. Second tip is this is going to take a while, right? And you see already my pinky's starting to lock up a little bit. Be thoughtful about can you adjust your fingers attacking the strings a little bit. Okay. Okay. I'm not being super successful. And then also be aware when it's not going to happen, right? And that could be, for me, it's probably never going to happen the way I want it to on this size of a guitar. So I am not at all averse to saying, all right, if I've got to get to, let's look at measure 2. If I'm supposed to play, right, don't say a word, so it's don't say a word. So I'm supposed to play. What I might end up doing is going, don't, and then putting in the chord here, say a word. Okay, it's always ideal to hit your chord and your melody on the first beat, if possible. But also just know, hey, maybe that's not going to happen for me right now. It's also perfectly fine to say, all right, if I'm going to play, if my pinky isn't going to cooperate on this, and especially as we age and we get a little arthritis hanging around in there, it's okay to be like, you know what, my pinky's not into this activity. Still play the song, but just get the chord when you can, and then add in melody after. Here. Okay, then I got my E chord, pinky underneath. I can probably do that. So I've gotten rid of some of the B7s in there, but the melody still keeps going. And your audience, they're not going to miss those chords. It's better if you can, but it's not essential. And so just, when we are talking about, this is one of the harder things we have to do. B7, pinky way up there on 4. Right, and you see my pinky is not ideal. I can try moving my thumb down just a little bit. But then that has a tendency to push my ring finger forward, so now I got to tuck him back in, right? And so... mess around with it, different things, and know that it's a very unpleasantly difficult moment arrangement. I arranged it this way on purpose because you're never going to really play this song, but it's a really good exercise to start really stretching your pinky away from a chord shape. So you got your chord shape, and boy, this pinky's out here. The other thing to do, we've talked about this a few times over in the past, do your Mr. Spock game, right? Just get the pinky out there, bring it back. Get your middle ring finger out there, bring it back. Middle finger away from your index finger, not so hard. And then finally thumb away from this. This is one of the reasons why you don't want to, you want to practice guitar for a little while sometimes, because your fingers need time to warm up. My fingers are not adequately warmed up right now, and so I can feel them sort of just like, oh God, here we go again. And so just, do this. Don't push, right? You'll hyperextend stuff. You don't want to do that, but just on its own there. Get that one. Okay. The hard one is your ring finger away from your middle finger. That's your Mr. Spock. Try it with your thumb out and your thumb in. And then this one, right? And usually just let them stretch. Just hold on to them for a second. I think that will do as much good as just about anything in terms of just opening up your tendons here in between your fingers. Okay. That doesn't necessarily solve this weird shape that we have to get on here, but it at least talks your hand into starting to warm up. And so those would be my suggestions, Gary. I think one, work on it, try it, and then when you get ready for your final run through on Hush Little Baby right before you throw your guitar out the window, just play the parts you can, right? And if you can't get the whole chord, drop the chord, play the melody, move on to the next chord. So yeah, so that should be a decent challenge for you this week. It took a little bit longer on that than I wanted to, but you guys know what we're up to. So all right, there's Hush Little Baby. Work on it this week. We'll play it next week, and then let's go grab Beautiful Dreamer. Let's play some Book 3 stuff. All right, now theoretically now I should be able to talk less and play more, right? All right, Book 3, Beautiful Dreamer. Remember, we're going to play all the way down to measure 24, and then we're going to come back up to measure 13. Then we're going to play all the way down to measure 48, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do the whole thing again. So come back to 13 a third time again, play to 24, go back to 13, and then play to the end. So it's a pretty long song. We'll take our time through it. I'll coach you through the repeats, and I'll make myself some notes so I can remember that we're going back to 13 as well. Done. 13. Okay. And just remember, each time you go all the way back to the front page. From the top, not fast. 1, 2, 3. chord, let it ring completely out on your guitar, and then take the chord off. Phew, that's a lot of good music right there, huh? That's a lot. Sounds beautiful. Okay, that's on your maintenance list at this point. Let's go grab Brahms Lullaby. Isn't that pretty? That's a really, really nice song. All right, Brahms Lullaby. PQR, Brahms Lullaby guitar. All right, with Brahms Lullaby, I teach this on every single instrument. I think it's a beautiful song. I think it's classical music. I think we're playing Brahms for real. And by the way, I have the apostrophe in the wrong spot. It's not Brahms Lullaby. It's Brahms apostrophe Lullaby. I don't know how many times I've messed that up. I continue to mess it up. I don't know what's wrong with me. All right, A chord, E chord, D chord. Right, we can live with that. From the top. By the way, if you are if the tough uke's not happening for you, just swing on by, grab the melody. That's the what you should be working on. Those of you guys that are in orchestra particularly know how important it is just to be able to keep up with a single line melody. Can be pretty challenging. I'll play the tough uke, you play tough axe, you play it any way you want. 1, 2. Second ending. And then again, just let that ring for a little bit. Sounds beautiful to listen. Hopefully the baby's asleep by now. Isn't that lovely? All right, there's a little Brahms Lullaby. We'll hang on to that for one more week before we make it go away. And then let's talk very briefly about Danny Boy. Let's see if I... So this week you'll be playing Danny Boy and Brahms. How about that? That's not a bad week. Do it. I downloaded that into the gadget here. Danny Boy, Danny Boy, Danny Boy, Danny Boy. I have it for everything except for this. All right, give me just a jiffy and I'll put it in. Guitar. I've been having a hard time getting to my practicing for this type of stuff because I've been busy practicing all of the new music I got at school. And turns out it's super crazy hard. And I play it really poorly, so I know exactly what you guys are going through, right? Not that you're playing it poorly, but that this business of tackling new music all the time, it's a lot, right? And you have a hard time getting to everything. All right, I have no idea at all why I put a glissando in measure 4, so I'll put a big question mark next to that. That is not necessary unless you want to put it in there. And I didn't put it anywhere else. I have no idea what I was thinking at the time. All right, really quickly, just to make sure we've got the basic idea here. Let's play through it 2 times, and then we will call it a night, except for the classical stuff from the top. And again, if you know your chords, oh Danny boy, oh the pipes are calling. Isn't that beautiful? From glen to glen, and down the mountainside. So it's A, D, and E7. That's your book 1 chords, and it's just fun just to sing it, no matter how terrible your singing is. And then the melody, of course, is going to work out just fine. The nice part about guitar, you got enough notes on here that we can easily fit the song, even though it's got a very broad range. Let's run through the tough acts real quick. Just make sure that no questions jump out at you as we play through it, and then we make sure you just head off on your week in good shape. From the top, with a 1-beat count in. 1. Pinky. Tough one. Bar on 9, C shape in front. Those of you who are ukulele players, think of F shape. Bar on 9, middle and ring finger, and on the 10s and 11s, strum it nice and beautiful. Make sure you hit the 9 clean. Okay, and then slide your bar to 7. Hit the 5 as you're getting your D chord on. A chord. Repeats again, and you guys that know we don't need to play it through a second time. That's what you're working at. Okay, make sure when you get to 16, bum bum bum. Notice measure 16. I've got 8th notes there, and you will come. So that's got a lot more energy than the beginning. The intro to the song is quarter notes. Oh, Danny boy, right? We're starting in nice and slow, but when we make that turnaround, we want to use 8th notes to make it more exciting. So, and you will come, and all the and then everything else is the same. The hard part, right, is measure 13. If you're a singer, that's also the hard part. You got to hit that high note. But you guys are just going to put a bar on 9, C shape in front, strum it, and then go grab a couple 7s. 5 on the way down, D chord. I got one more 5. Then an A chord. Right? And it's just really, it's a lot of work there for one measure, but that's how the song goes. And it's worth it. It's probably worth it getting closer to mastery on that. This is a song you could play for the rest of your life, and it will always be awesome. So maybe put it on your often repeated list. And that's it. That's book 1, book 2, and book 3. Next week we will do another day on Brother John. And book 2 we'll do Hush Little Baby. And I don't remember what comes after Hush Little Baby. We can look real quick and let you know. Hush Little Baby. Sheet music. Opening a new tab. What comes after Hush Little Baby? So next week we will tackle in class here Itsy Bitsy Spider. I love Itsy Bitsy Spider, by the way. So we have Itsy Bitsy Spider. I'm amazed at the number of people who tell me, I really like playing that song. So Itsy Bitsy Spider will be next week. Your job this week, master Hush Little Baby. We will drop Beautiful Dreamer off the bottom of the list, and Brahms Lullaby and Danny Boy next week. And then from book 3 next week, we'll be looking at Down by the Riverside. Down by the Riverside has some percussion in it, so we get to practice using percussion in our arrangements. All right, and if you're not a classical person, not interested in classical music, you are free to sneak out the back door. Have a lovely week. I'll see you next Wednesday. Remember, the orchestra starts up continues on Tuesday nights. If you want to play some Beatles, kind of hard, kind of fast, and really beautiful and really fun, come join us on Tuesday nights. All right, guys, let's go take a peek at this classical piece that we were working on last week. For those of you into the classical stuff, 3 guitar. Where's my book? Guitar Classical. Here we go. And today it was, what was it over the week? Gosh, I should have this stuff down. I didn't get a chance to play through it this week, as you can tell. Opus, the Waltz 2241 number 1, right? Yep. Okay. They all have the same name. Waltz. Adagio. All right, so love the classics. There you go. Way to go, Vic. All right, let's play this waltz. Remember, we played the first 4 measures twice, then 9 through 16 twice, 17 through 24 twice, and then we're going to go back up and we're going to play from 1 down to 16. Your chord shapes will help you for the most part on this piece. 1, 2, 3. String. Let me start from measure 9. 1, 2, 3. The right strings, and we'll all be very happy about that. Ready, play. 9. I ignore that rest there. I don't even know why it's there. It doesn't need to be there. Technically, you're probably supposed to play a quarter note and then rest, but that seems dumb. Just near the end of the song, let it ring out a little bit. I'd like to do it one more time, just because it's a fun. See you later, Gary. Have a great day. He's probably already gone. Let's do it one more time, just because I hate to put it in the can. Because it's so beautiful, but let's do it. Let's go ahead and do it one more time. 1, 2, 3. I put them both times around. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So there's the waltz. Donna peeked in and went, and then she turned around and walked back out. She didn't know I'm still online. All right. Finally, isn't that beautiful? Isn't that a good song? That's a good song. So let's talk very quickly about Torito. Back when I was applying for college, guys, you remember we worked on this. So hopefully you still have it in your book somewhere. If not, I haven't changed one note. So go grab Torito. And the fun part about this one was that you're going to just slide your finger up and down on it. It's interesting that the song we just played is actually comes before this one in the book, and you're like, this one is so much easier to play. And this one, so you're going to have just a 3-finger pattern here, and then you're going to move it up and do a 3-finger pattern up here. So let's do it from the top, just real quick. We don't need to get it right. From the top, measure 1. Ready, play. Slide up to 3, then slide back to 2, then to zeros, 2's back on. Up to 3. And then up to 5. And that sound cool? To 3. Into 2. For the longest time, and then move your 2's up to strings 3 and 4 and start your thumb on 5. Go. To 3. Back to 2. Zeros. And then to 2's. So hit that 0, let it ring for a second, and then hit the zeros, and then a full A chord. And then nice. And then of course they got a fermata on the end there, so let that ring for a minute. So not a hard song at all to play, just trying to get it, everything nice and smooth. And then paying attention to your dynamics. It says on line 1, mezzo piano, get it louder, and then bring it back down. Line 2, wherever you are at, they want you to go all the way up to mezzo forte, so pretty loud at measure 7, and then bring it back down. And then when you go to 11, start at mezzo forte, get to full forte there in the middle of measure 12, and then bring it back down, and then bring it back up to a full forte in measure 17, and then bring it back down. So this piece, as much as anything, is not about what you're doing with your left hand. You'll be able to do that just fine. It's about all the other stuff going on, trying to get that the volume of your guitar to be noticeably quieter and then noticeably louder. I think if you can get those last 3 notes, man, it sounds really like you did something, right? Even if you don't. Let's do this. Let's leave both of these on the list. Let's go ahead and play Carulli one more week. It's such a nice song, and it's so much more complicated and so much more interesting than this song. That I want you to have one song that's really like that you have to dig in a little bit. So we'll head on to that. I think both of you guys, it looks like there's only 2 of you left. Linda and Vic, I think both of you have the password for the classical site if you want to go in and see. I'm just about out of pre-writes, so I'll have to toss out a few more here pretty quick. But we're getting pretty far along into that book, and it's pretty exciting where we're at. And then who knows when we get to the end of book 1. I guess we'll just move into or book 0. I guess we'll just move into book 1 and keep pretending like we know what we're doing and keep it going forward. So hope you guys are having a wonderful night, and I will see all y'all on Tuesday night for orchestra. And of course both you guys I'll see in ukulele on tomorrow afternoon and Friday. So hope you're having a wonderful night, and that's all I know. Linda, Vic, see you soon. Peace.